to sharing my screen so you can see this. Now, can I make that bigger? Let's find out if I can. Hold on. I can. Look at that. All right, I think that's about as big as I can make it. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Wait, there we go. Sorry. Hold on. Let's try that again. Can I do that or no? I don't think I can. All right, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to just read them to you. They're probably too small for you, but I'll just read them to you, okay? What do I mean by moron? It means a stupid person. Yeah. I am kind. I'm a kind person for the most part. For the most part. Okay. Please pay attention now. I want to teach. I really do want to teach. Here's the next, the first word. First word for today is eloquent. What does eloquent mean? He's a very eloquent man. S5, it takes about 5 minutes. There's a lag. There's a delay. Okay? And yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if I can zoom it either. Let me try this. I think I can zoom it. I have to try sharing it a different way. 1 second. Let me download it. Save image as desktop. Save. And click. Now I think I can open it and make it bigger. Let me try. Whoops. Wait, try that again. Open with photos. There we go. All right, now, ooh, look at that. I can do it. How's that? Okay, now we can start again. That better? Okay, so the first one is eloquent. To be eloquent. LOL, I've already posted this. This is on my Moments. If you go to my Moments, you can download it yourself. Okay? HMD says, he eloquent speaks English. That's okay, but you need to add ly. He eloquently speaks English. Okay, so he is eloquent. Eloquent is a noun in this case, right? Or no, it's an adjective. Sorry, not a noun. Sorry. But when you add a ly to it, eloquently, now it becomes an adverb, not an adjective, right? So the eloquent man, that's an adjective, but he spoke eloquently, that's an adverb. Okay? Mark is an eloquent person. Well, but I just made a mistake, so that can't really be true. I want to be eloquent in English. Good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And S5, it should be on YouTube now. It should be on YouTube now. I see 3 viewers on my YouTube. Hello to my YouTube people. So you should be there now. Okay? So, eloquent means to be very well spoken. Okay? Well spoken is another way to say eloquent. Okay? She is very well spoken. He is very well spoken. Does it mean the same as fluent? No. It's different than fluent. Fluent means you have a capability, a comfortable capability with language. That's what fluent means. Okay? Eloquent means more than comfortable capability. Eloquent means an artistic, beautiful capability. Like an artist almost. Okay? The way that, like, you know, anybody can paint, but not everybody is a painter, right? Anybody can speak, but not everyone is eloquent. Okay, so eloquence is like artistry of language. The artistry of language is eloquence. Okay, and let's take a look at something here. It comes from the Latin word eloquentum, which means speaking or having the faculty of speech. So the original meaning is actually just to be able to speak. But the current meaning is to have the power of expressing strong emotions in vivid and appropriate speech. So it means that you can use your words to really move people. Okay? Like magic. Okay? So eloquence is like the magic of language. It's the artistry and the magic of language. Okay? You can't see me at all. I don't know. I don't know. One characteristic of a good speaker is being eloquent. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Okay? Or you could just say that to be a good speaker is to be an eloquent speaker. Okay? Something like that. Yeah. Okay? Why what? Why what? Like voiceover actors? Maybe. It depends on the voiceover actor. Is articulate a synonym? Yes. It's definitely a cousin. To be articulate is to be able to explain things very, very clearly with great detail and precision. To be eloquent is to speak with beauty. Beauty of language. Artistry of language. Okay? But eloquence usually requires articulation. Right? So to be eloquent, you usually need to be articulate. Okay? Articulate is a word that's also used, articulation is a word that's used to mean the movement of something. Right? So the articulation of the robotic arm means the movement of the robotic arm. Okay? And it doesn't mean just the movement, it means the precise movement. The articulation is the precise movement. We also use the word articulation in music to talk about the precise playing of a note. To articulate a note properly means to play it with exact rhythm. Okay? Can you use it with animals? Eloquence? No. No, because animals don't speak. I mean, unless you wanted to use it in an artistic or metaphorical kind of a way, a poetic kind of a way, then no. Okay, now, let's go on to the next word. The next word is inevitable. Inevitable. It is inevitable. What does inevitable mean? It means certain to happen. Unavoidable. Okay, it's definitely going to happen. All right, 确定. It's certain. So try writing some sentences with inevitable. It's also a good one to practice. All of these words are very good words to practice for pronunciation practice, because all of these words require articulation. Since we're talking about articulation, to say these words well requires articulation, which means precise movement of the mouth. Okay? Enunciation and articulation. Death is inevitable. Yes, how Edgar Allan Poe. Tragic but true, yes. Tragically true, indeed. It's inevitable, but I'm trying to get away from the stress when I'm studying. You could say, I'm trying to get away from the stress of studying, but unfortunately it's inevitable. Okay, asthma? Okay, or unavoidable. Both would work. Success is inevitable when you work hard. Okay, I think I would only say change the when to if. Success is inevitable if you work hard. My mother didn't ask my permission before my birth. It was inevitable. That's kind of funny, Rob. I don't know if that's a correct usage, though. I don't think you could use inevitability about your birth in that way. It's a funny way to use it, though. Let's see. Right. I mean, look, I love animals and they communicate, absolutely, but they don't speak. There's a big difference between communication and speaking. Making mistakes is something inevitable. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. And important. You should make mistakes, right? Yeah. Yeah. In general, yeah, speaking is just for humans as of now, for now. All right. Now, let's go to the next word. The next word is meticulous. To be meticulous. What does to be meticulous mean? Meticulousness. Meticulousness means to show great attention to detail. So, if your place is very clean, then you are meticulous when you clean. When you write, if you write very carefully, then you write meticulously. Okay, to be meticulous is to be very careful about what you're doing, to show great attention to detail. Okay? It's like having great scrutiny. Scrutiny is another good word. To scrutinize something is to look at it very carefully. Right? So when you do things meticulously and with scrutiny, then you do them with great attention to detail. When the hurricane is approaching, residents are preparing for the inevitable catastrophe. That's right. Good, Bellin. When I'm reading some research papers, I turn to become... you could say asthma. When I'm reading some research papers, I become meticulous. Or, whenever I read research papers, I read them meticulously. Whenever I read research papers, I read them meticulously. Okay? Taxes being due every year is another example of something inevitable. It happens regardless of circumstances. That's right, yeah. When you're in Teacher Mark's class, you should be meticulous. I consider that to be a compliment. That's kind of true. I really don't really need or want any lazy people here. And so, yeah, I kind of insist that if you want to do something, you should try to do it well. So you should be meticulous. Yeah, that's right. I should say a person should at least know what it means to be meticulous in life. A person should know what it means to actually really take something seriously and try to do it really well. And not for any other reason other than personal growth. Yeah. Their planning and preparation were meticulous. So in that case, truthful, you're going to say was meticulous. Because when you use the word there, it is many people, but you're using it in a singular form to talk about a group. Right? So that's where plurals become a little confusing, because sometimes you're talking about a plural like a singular thing. In this case, you could say their planning and preparation was meticulous. Okay? You are known to be a rather meticulous musician with a great attention to detail when you play drums. That's somewhat true. Somewhat. But, Bellin, the truth is, really, that's what was so great about having one of my students become better than me. Because once one of your students becomes better than you, then you realize that you are not as meticulous as you thought you were. And now somebody else is more meticulous than you. And actually, in the musician community, there is a small group of very professional musicians who are all very, very meticulous people. They are the most meticulous people. Yeah. I do work meticulously. That's right. Yes. Good. My husband is a meticulous and perfectionist person. I guess it's because he is a musician. That's possible. Very possible. Ladies are more meticulous than men. I think that depends on what you're talking about, Mora. My teacher is really meticulous, period. She pays attention to small details. Good, Mona. I think you could just make that into 2 sentences, or you could make it into 1 by adding the word because. My teacher is really meticulous because she pays attention to small details. Okay? He has always been so meticulous about his appearance. That's good. An editor reviewing a manuscript line by line, checking for grammar, punctuation, and spelling errors is an example of being meticulous. Very good. Yes. I'm meticulous when it comes to studying. Good. I hope so. The opposite of meticulous is ridiculous? No, but they do rhyme. They're not opposites. Ridiculous is something that's not believable, something silly, something laughable, something funny, something unbelievable. That's ridiculous. Okay? They do have a rhyming sound, though. Okay? Teacher Mark is meticulous when he is teaching. I try to be. Mobile phones are meticulous. No, Baya. I don't think I would use it that way. Mobile phones are not meticulous. Meticulous is a quality of people, not a quality of things. Okay? So, if you described the way they designed the phone, now, if you say the designers of mobile phones are meticulous, that's true, right? The way they design them is meticulous, but the phones themselves are not. Okay? I'm meticulous during the meeting or our meetings. Yes, sure. ChatGPT is very meticulous. I would say ChatGPT is more meticulous than many people, but I would also say that in order to use ChatGPT well, then you must be very meticulous. That's the secret of using ChatGPT well, is to be meticulous. Ladies usually pay attention more attention to detail than men. Again, I think I'd have to see the studies to prove that. And I think that depends on the subject. For example, sports. Are ladies as careful about detail in sports than men are? Not most of them. Not most of them. Some of them, but not most of them. Right? But are men as do men pay attention that much to the makeup that women wear? We don't. We really don't. I'm sorry. I know you guys put a lot of time and effort into the makeup that you guys put on, but to be honest with you, sometimes we don't even know. You know, or we don't even care, I should say, is really one way or the other, we're actually fine. So it depends on the details, right? It depends on the details. Mark is a meticulous teacher. He always takes examples to analysis the problem. So you could say, I am a meticulous teacher because I always give examples that analyze the problem. Or I analyze the problem and give examples. There's my meticulous nature. Okay, next, let's go to the next word. Serendipity. I love this word. Serendipity. What does serendipity mean? It was very serendipitous. We met serendipitously. What does serendipity mean? And this one is funny. And Ozma, yes, you should know this one, Ozma. That's exactly right. That's not a coincidence. That's where this word comes from. This word, serendipity, he formed the word from the Persian fairy tale, The Three Princes of Serendip. An English version was published in 1722. This word was created in 1754. So this word, it comes from your land. That's right. It comes from a story from Persia. Isn't that cool? You know? Yeah. And actually, it goes back even further than that. Serendip was in English, then in Ceylon, or what is now Sri Lanka. The Arabic word was serendib, and before that it was Sanskrit, but I can't pronounce that. But yeah, the general word that we use comes from Persian. Okay? Now you want to make a million sentences with that? Well, it was serendipitous that you found out that the word serendipity comes from your country today. You know? Yeah. Suddenly my success wasn't a pure serendipity. Yeah, what does serendipity mean, by the way? It means to find something good without looking for it, right? So when something just happens that's just great, it's just like a surprise that's just wonderful, right? Like you go to the park just randomly one day and you happen to see your best friend who you haven't seen in 20 years and they just happen to go to the park that day too. That would be a serendipitous moment. Okay? It's related to fate or destiny. It's similar. It's in the same vein as destiny or fate. Serendipity. Okay? It's a little different. It's a little different than coincidence. Coincidence is more analytical and logical. Serendipity is more poetic. Okay, it's literary more. Okay? You like the movie Serendipity from the 80s? Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. That was a pretty good one. I think I remember that. Yeah. I experienced a wonderful serendipity when I stumbled upon... Oh, I can't speak today. Let me try that again. I experienced a wonderful serendipity when I stumbled upon a charming little cafe away from the city. Yeah, it was serendipity that I met my best friend online. Sure. By serendipity, we sat next to each other at the park. Right. She is serendipitous in my life. I don't think I like the way that's used. I think I would say it was serendipity that I met her, or it was serendipity that she came into my life. Something like that. Okay? It was serendipity that I realized the meaning of serendipity today. Good. But the word realized is R-E-A-L-I-S... No. Z-E-D. Sorry. Realized. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, that was funny. Did I read right? Look, there's serendipity. You had the same idea I did, Bellin. That was serendipitous right there. That was perfect serendipity. It was serendipity when I visited Angkor Wat Temple. Okay, could be, but you have to have a reason why. Why is it serendipitous? Like, what is it? Uh, so, for example, if you were saying that I happened to be there, like I didn't mean to go there. I was there for another reason. Maybe there's a friend in the neighborhood and I was visiting them. And then I happened to see the temple and I went there. That would be serendipity. Okay, so it's like something that happens unexpectedly that you didn't know was going to happen but was pleasant. Okay? Serendipity is about good things happening while coincidence is... That's correct. Coincidence, that's very good. That's a good point. Coincidence could be either good or bad, and coincidence is more about cause. You know, like, why are you really here? Is it a coincidence, or was there a reason? That kind of a thing. Okay? A teacher like me is really serendipity. Maybe you could say, and I don't I don't feel comfortable saying this, but I'm gonna say it. Meeting a teacher like me is serendipitous. Okay, maybe. If you think so, great. Okay. So yeah, again, serendipity would be when you go to the park and you happen to meet your friend who also happened to go to the park. You didn't call each other. You didn't talk about it. You just happen to see each other. And it's been 20 years. It's kind of like fate or destiny. Okay? Like, oh, look, I didn't know we were going to meet, but we did. Okay? Or maybe you're looking for someone to help you with your housework, right? You're looking for someone to help you with your housework. Every day you're so tired, you don't have time to do all the housework, and you want to find somebody. And you, on your way home from work, you stop to get something to eat. And you notice that the girl next to you, who's eating, is looking in the paper for a job for housework. That would be serendipity. Oh, look, I'm sitting next to a girl who is looking for a job to clean houses, and I need somebody to clean houses. That's a coincidence, but it's like serendipity. Okay, so serendipity is coincidental. Okay, most often it's coincidental. Is it the same as kismet? Good question. It's very similar. I was going to say that just in a few minutes. There's another term called kismet that's also very similar. There are a few terms. Let me look them all up. Fate, destiny, serendipity, kismet, luck, fortune, coincidence, chance. These are all similar. They're all related. Okay? Kismet is more like a predetermined or fated outcome, while serendipity is usually something that's like unplanned. Okay? The accidental discovery of something positive. That would be serendipity. Okay? But they're similar. They're similar. Some of the greatest scientific discoveries happened by serendipity. Very good. Hello, Carlos. How are you, my friend? In a moment of serendipity, I found the ring I thought was lost forever. Very good. Yes. Okay, I'm trying to keep up. Please be patient. It's serendipity that we found each other. That we found each other. Kismet and serendipity both refer to fortunate coincidences, but kismet implies a sense of destiny or fate. That's correct. Whereas serendipity is more about discovering something undiscovered that's pleasant. That's right. Right. Correct. Yes. Kismet is not like serendipity in terms of positivity. Kismet is... It's like a magical force, and serendipity is also like a magical force. So in that way, they're similar. But the difference would be more that... Let me see. One moment. So they met by kismet, that suggests that the meeting was meant to happen. But if I say they met by serendipity, that implies that it was random but pleasant. Like it wasn't planned, it wasn't destiny, but it happened. Okay? So it's slightly different. Okay? And yes, kismet also is Arabic, I believe. Let me double check. Kismet comes from Turkish and then Arabic. So, yeah, kisma, or kismat, meaning your portion or your lot or your fate. Right? Well, that's interesting. It comes from the word kusama, which means he divided, right? So he put these people here, he put these people here. That's kismet. Okay? Kismet is a religious term like being planned by God. Not in the West. Not in the West. I would not say it's a religious term. Here it's a secular term. Okay? It's actually almost like a magical term. Like if you just say, oh, it's kismet, we met, Nobody's saying that religiously. That has nothing to do with religion. They're just saying like, wow, how special. Okay? Like, that's all. Okay? It's definitely not a religious word or considered to be today. Okay? Right. I know it was originally. That's what I just read. Okay? All right, let's move to the next word. Ambiguous. Ambiguous is a good word. It means unclear. Ambiguity. And do you guys know another word that begins with ambi? Do you know any other words that begin with ambi? Ambitious, right? Okay. Any others? Ambivert, that's right. Any others? Ambivalent, that's right. Ambient, very good. There's one more. I'm still looking for one more. It has to do with your right and your left hands. No, that's AMBU. I want AMBI. AMBI. MB. It has to do with your right and left hand. There it is. Ambidextrous. What does ambidextrous mean? What does ambidextrous mean? Do you know? Ambidextrous means that you have equal skill with both hands. Okay, so some people, their strong hand is their right hand, or their strong hand is their left hand. But there are some people who have equal ability with both right and left hands. That's called ambidexterity. to be ambidextrous. Okay? Now, ambi, the letters AMBI mean both sides. That's what it means. It means both sides. Okay? So, ambidextrous means both sides are strong. Ambiguous means your argument is unclear. I don't know which side you are on. You seem to be on both sides because your argument is unclear. It's ambiguous. It has both sides. Do you understand? Understand how that works? So ambiguity means that when somebody asks you, what do you want to eat? Do you want pizza? You say, well, I love pizza. But then you say, well, but I really feel like Chinese food right now. But then you say, oh, but my friend Tom is working at the pizza place. We could stop and talk to Tom. But then you say, but then I really shouldn't eat pizza because I'm on a diet. So now you're being very ambiguous. You're being very ambiguous. You're saying one thing that's good and one thing that's bad. And one thing that's good and one thing that's bad. That's ambiguous. Okay? Open to more than one interpretation. Some people might think you want this. Some people might think you want that. Okay? To be ambiguous. Okay? It's not neutrality. No. Neutrality means you didn't choose anything. I'm neutral. I don't care. Whichever. Vanilla, chocolate, 都可以. Okay, that's neutral. All right? But ambiguous is more like 你知道这个还是这个？告诉我。我不知道你要什么。Right? Be clear. Tell me what you want. Don't be ambiguous. Okay? Ambiguous, ambiguity. Right. So, there we go. Those are all words, Athena, that the AMBI part of those words, that's the root, and it means something about both. Right? So, ambivalent. What does ambivalent mean? To have ambivalence? Ambivalence, the AMBI means both sides, both, right? And valence comes from the word valentia, which means strength. So ambivalence means that you have conflicting feelings. It means that you have some feelings about this and some feelings about this. I'm ambivalent. Means I don't know what to believe because my feelings are fighting each other. Okay? That's both sides are fighting. Ambi. Okay? Ambience means like the surrounding feeling, right? And in this case, ambi doesn't mean both sides, it means surrounding. Okay? Sometimes ambi means both sides, and sometimes it means around. Okay? And yeah, ambivalent we talked about, right? And ambidextrous means what we said. Yeah, okay, good. All right. He does things ambiguously. He does things ambiguously. To have mixed feelings or contradictory ideas about something or someone would be to be ambivalent. Yes. Okay. I wouldn't say it's mysterious. Mysterious is more like you're deliberately trying not to let people know. That's mysterious, right? So if you say, do you like chocolate or do you like ice cream? And I say, I don't know. What do you think? That's mysterious, Like, to when you try to hide it, that's mysterious. Ambivalence is more like, I don't really, I like them both, so I don't know. Okay? Yeah, it's like being torn, kind of. Yeah. All right, good. Ambivalent in soccer, the same player can play in different positions. I don't really. Oscar, I would say. I don't think that's the right word for what you're trying to say. I don't think that's the right word for what you're trying to say. I think you want to say. Versatile, right? To be versatile means to be able to play in more than one position. Versatility. Versatility in soccer. That's where you can play, forward, or you can play goalie. That's to be versatile. Okay? My future plans are not ambiguous yet. I want to have a good life. Okay. You could say it that way, but I feel like it's a little strange to say not ambiguous yet. Ambiguous means unclear. So you just said, my future plans are not unclear yet. I think you mean to say, my future plans are ambiguous yet. I just want to have a good life. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. I was just correcting you. It's okay. Right? As a teacher, that's my job, to try to correct you in a positive way. Okay? In an encouraging way. So, there's no bad. Making mistakes is all right. That's how you learn. Okay? All right, let's do a couple more words. The next word is a good one. Ubiquitous. Ubiquitous means everywhere. It's everywhere. If something is ubiquitous, it's everywhere. iPhones are ubiquitous. McDonald's is ubiquitous. KFC is ubiquitous. Right? It seems like fast food. Fast food is ubiquitous. Everywhere you go, there's fast food. And, almost. Almost everywhere you go, to things that have ubiquity are things that are everywhere. They're so common that they're just everywhere. Okay? That is something ubiquitous. Okay? Anybody want to try a word or a sentence? A sentence with ubiquitous? Or ubiquity? Ubiquity is another interesting word. The original word ubiquitous comes from the Latin word ubiquatis. No, ubiquitas. Ubiquitas meaning ubique, meaning everywhere. Yeah, so the original meaning of ubiquity means everywhere. Pollution is ubiquitous, that's correct. Yes. An Italian saint called Pio was said to have a special gift of ubiquity. How do you have the gift of ubiquity? Is that where we get the word pious from, I wonder? I don't know. 7-Eleven is ubiquitous, sure. Yeah. What's the difference between unclear and ambiguous? Nothing. If your answer is ambiguous, it is unclear. If your answer is unclear, it is ambiguous. Okay? Although unclear could be more than one kind of unclear, right? Sometimes things are unclear because you're ambiguous. Sometimes things are unclear because of miscommunication or translation or misunderstanding, right? So unclear can be more than that, but to be ambiguous is a kind of being unclear. Okay? It's a kind of unclarity. I love language. Okay, let's see. Smartphones are pretty ubiquitous now, yeah, right? The company's logo has become ubiquitous all over the world. So now I want to look at this. I'm so curious now. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, so no, the word pious actually just comes from the Latin word pious, meaning devout, religious, faithful. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Hey, let me take a quick break from talking about vocabulary for just a second, and I want to tell you about something else. Give me 1 second to find it here. Where is my blog? There it is. I have a blog. If you didn't know about my blog, I have a blog. And on my blog, I write articles about learning English, and about learning, and about concepts about the world, and lots of different things. But there are articles about grammar and vocabulary and all kinds of things. All right? And I want to show it to you right now, because last night I just wrote a new article that is a really good one. It's going to be it's probably going to be a chapter in my book also. Hold on, let me refresh here. This one right here, this one, both of these actually will probably be in my book. These top three are probably the three best articles on my blog right now. The importance of having a vocabulary system, the 8 pillars of language, and shadowing. Okay, so I highly recommend that you go here and subscribe and read. Okay? If you click on this, the 8 pillars of language, the balance behind true fluency. And I explain what are the 8 pillars of language: reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. And I tell you everything that you need to know about these. Okay? Look at this beautiful article. Okay? Go read it. Go read it. And by the way, you should also, hit the subscribe button. I have 10 followers. Woohoo! I have 10 followers. Can you believe it? I have 82,000 followers on my HelloTalk, but I have 10 followers on my blog. Only 10 people are interested in my blog. I find that to be very, very sad. And you see this little button up here? What is this little button? What does this do? I wonder what this does. What does this do? What does that do? What is that? Like. Click on that and click on this and leave a comment. Yeah, leave a comment and click on the like button. Okay? The name of the blog, if you go to right here, you can go to, this is my Buy Me a Coffee page. Okay? Here. Okay, there's my Buy Me a Coffee page. Now, if you go to my Buy Me a Coffee page, this is where you can subscribe and you can support me if you think I'm doing a good job. Everybody talks about how great of a teacher I am. That's wonderful. I'm glad you think so. Buy me a coffee. I'd appreciate it. All right, and then go here to this right here where it says posts. Posts up here. Okay. Posts. And she says, I tried to read one of your articles and I found it difficult for me. I will try to read it again. Okay, there's no problem with that. Do you know what you can do? Copy my article and paste it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to help you understand it. Okay? Ask ChatGPT to help you understand it. It will. I promise. Okay? I have been blocked. Ah, well, that's Russia's loss, unfortunately. I know, my writing is so subversive and dangerous. I talk about the 8 pillars of language and how important it is to have a vocabulary system. It's very subversive. I talk about how important your attention is on the internet and how we speak differently to different people. Very, very subversive stuff. Anyway, no, look, guys, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Look, I'm not trying to guilt trip you guys. I'm just joking, all right? You know, of course, I want and I need support. I need subscribers, you know? That's how this works. This is an economy. You understand that this is you're in my store right now. Did you guys know you were in my store? You're in my classroom. You're in my store. So buy something. Every once in a while when you go into a store, you need to buy something. Right? You understand? If you go to a 7-Eleven every day for a year and you never buy anything, don't you think they're going to be a little bit like, oh, that's not cool? They'll let you. That's why I love 7-Eleven. They will let you do that. But that's not cool. If I go to 7-Eleven and they let me stay there and they let me enjoy their air conditioning and their Wi-Fi, then I should buy something. You know? So consider buying something. What is 7-Eleven? 你是中国人，你知道啊？中国他们有非常多很多 7-Eleven. It's everywhere. 你知道？想一想，这是那个商店，便利商店，很有名的便利商店，你知道啊？Okay, DK says, why should we learn advanced vocabulary? Well, the vocabulary that I just gave, those words that I just gave you, those words are C1. I would say C1 level. They're not really C2 level, the words that I just gave you. Those are mostly C1 level, okay? Now, why should you learn advanced vocabulary? There are a few reasons why you should learn advanced vocabulary. One is because if you see advanced vocabulary, you won't know what it is unless you learn it. And two is because sometimes you need these words in front of these people, but in front of this other group of people over here, you need to use different words to say the same idea. So, sometimes when I'm teaching, the words I use here are different than the words I would use if I'm teaching this same concept to a group of native speakers. If I teach my concept about the 8 pillars of language, when I teach to you here, I try to keep my language mostly simple and my speech mostly clear and even. Okay? Clear. But if I were to speak to a different group of people, like maybe some professors, okay, or maybe my band, every group of people that you talk to requires a different set of vocabulary. Okay? It requires a different set of vocabulary. So, when you know these words, they are keys. They're keys that get you in the door. If you don't have a certain language, you can't speak well in that environment. That's like being locked out. You're locked out. You're not able to participate. But when you have the vocabulary, now you have the keys. You can open the doors. And now you can express yourself to people and tell them what you feel using those keys. Okay? So that's why. Is 7-Eleven a US brand name or a Japanese brand name? It is an American brand name, but it became international. It started in America, but it became international. You only have 365. What? No. 不是. No. Let's see. How many 7-Eleven in China? $10,359. There are 10,359 7-Eleven in China. Okay? And yes, I have a course for learning English. Or I should say, I teach private lessons and I make courses for every person. Vocabulary is very difficult. Not if you have a good system. If you have a good system, it's not so difficult. Take care, Belen. Am I a fake Chinese? Yeah. Come on, you must have seen 7-Eleven. Look, watch. Look, let me see. Have you ever been to Beijing? Have you been to Beijing? What's that? What's that? 7-Eleven, Beijing, 7-Eleven, Beijing, 7-Eleven, Beijing, 7-Eleven, Beijing, 7-Eleven, 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 7-Eleven. These are all Chinese Beijing 7-Elevens. Okay? So you have it. You have it. Goodbye, Gabriel. Good to meet you too. You just logged into my site, but you didn't get the email with the code to resend to complete the procedure. Oh, that's weird. Ornella, try again. Check your spam. Maybe it got sent to your spam folder. And if it doesn't work, send me a private message and let me see if I can personally help you with it. Okay? Your city has 365. Okay. All right. Where are you? 什么城市? Hebei. Okay. I don't know. I've never seen Hebei, so I don't know. But, well, let's look. Let's just see. I'm curious. 7-Eleven in Hebei. Tangshan. Let me try. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Hebei has it somewhere, but just maybe not your city. That's surprising. Anyway, yeah. See, there you go. Some cities have it. I saw a lot in Shanghai, right? Yeah. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, send me a private message on Hello Talk, Ornella. Yeah, maybe, who knows? Maybe that's a problem for many people, Ornella. So please message me so that I can try to work out what happened. Because maybe that's why I don't have any subscribers, because people are trying but they're not getting the code or something. So let's talk and see if we can figure that out later. All right? Because, yeah, I need more followers. Otherwise, I have to move my blog to something else, and I don't want to move my blog again. I don't want to move my blog again. There are many 7-Eleven stores in Guangdong. Okay, there you go. So yeah, it's popular. Like I said, there are 10,000 in China. 10,000. That's a lot. That's a lot. Pineapple ice cream cake. Me, bro, is not an introduction.你需要用一个介绍，说介绍。Fathom and understand have the same meaning. Yes and no. Understand is more general. To fathom is a more academic term that means to understand something. But a fathom is a term that was used. Let me check on it. Yeah, fathom comes from the old English word fathom, meaning outstretched arms. So a long time ago, a fathom, 1 fathom, was 6 feet deep. 6 feet deep was 1 fathom. Right? So if they said 10 fathoms, then that was, right, 60 feet deep. Okay? So it was a way to measure depth. So when you say, I can't fathom it, it means it's too deep for me. I can't understand it. Okay? Or if you say, I can fathom it, it means that I understand the depth of it. I understand how deep it is. Okay? So fathom is a little different than understand. Okay? In Colombia, there are no 7-Eleven? Really? Wow. 7-Eleven is a store, everybody. It's a convenience store. Oh, look. Kakashi says 7-Eleven is much more popular than 365, apparently. Well, your number says 4,639, but when I looked it up, it said, how many 7-Eleven in China 2025? As of June, oh, I got the same number you did. That's weird. I wonder why I got 10,000 before. Where did that come from? This says, according to global data. Yeah, I think that must be a mistake, maybe. Well, anyway, there are a lot of them. There are a lot. Let's just say that. There are a lot. Robert is a member of Sabe Club. Well, that's great. Good for you, Robert. Get me a hot dog. Well, that's not that place, is it? This topic can be fathomed by you. Yes, but that's a weird way to use it, DK. Why? Why would you choose to use a more academic term unless you're in an academic setting, right? Like, I would only say that in very small situations, very few situations. So, for example, if I were a professor in a university and my students said this is very difficult and I thought it's not, then I'll say, no, this topic can be fathomed by you. But that's a professor in a university. But if I were talking to anyone else in any other situation, I would not use the word fathom when I could use the word understood. This topic can be understood by you. Don't choose words to impress people. Choose words to fit the right meaning for the right situation. Okay? Your English teacher at school asked you to memorize 2,000 English words in 2 months. And that is why many people in China can't really speak English that well, because you guys memorize everything. But do you guys know what memorizing is? It's pretending to learn. Memorizing is pretending to learn. Learning takes time. But they don't give you time. They don't give you the choice of time. So you have to do what you can, which the only thing you can do is memorize, which is not learning. It's pretending to learn, and that's why you forget everything. Because you didn't really learn anything. You just pretended to learn so that you could pass the test. Okay? Learning is supposed to take time. Learning is supposed to be difficult. Okay? Where would I use Fathom? Like I said, I would only use Fathom when I was in front of a certain group of people. So, DK, think of it like this. Think of it like music, right? So, if I'm a musician and I have a band, okay? I have many bands. I have bands of every kind of music. Let's just say, all right? I have rock music and jazz music and blues music and funk music and classical music and Latin music and pop music and Indian music and African music. I have every kind of music, okay? But if I go to the quiet little cafe where everybody is reading and drinking their coffee quietly in the morning, and then I bring my rock band there and we play rock music, really, really loud rock music, is that a good place for me to play that music at that time? No, it's not. What music is the right music for that moment? What music should I be playing here? And how should I play it in this environment? That's how you think about language. Okay? When you're in front of a group of professors, you speak one way. You use that language that works for them. That's why language is so important, because if you don't have the ability to speak at a higher level, then you're only able to communicate at one level. Okay? Yeah. So if you don't learn how to speak in different ways, then you're only able to express yourself in one way. And that means you're limited. It happens in politics all the time. In politics, everybody has opinions about politics. But if you can't express yourself well about your opinions, then guess what? No one is going to listen to you because you sound stupid. If you don't know what you're talking about and you don't have the right language, right? So, if you don't know what a recession is, then you can't talk about a recession. If you don't know what inflation is, then you can't talk about inflation. So that's why learning vocabulary is important. And the way I think about vocabulary words are like Legos. Do you guys know what Legos are? What are Legos? Yeah, read the room. That's what we say. That's what we say. Read the room is a common expression. It means pay attention and understand what's expected here. You know, look around and see how everybody is reacting. That's what read the room means. Do you guys, yeah, Legos. Legos are those little blocks that kids like to play with, right? They build things with Legos, right? But if a kid only has 10 Lego blocks, then what can he build? What are Legos? Let me show you Legos. Hold on. I'll just do it on my phone very quickly. No. Images. Legos. Okay, those blocks, the blocks that kids like to play with, these. Okay, those are called Legos. And kids love them because they love to build things. And you can create so many things with them. You could make a house or a hospital or a boat or a car or a train or a plane or a time machine. You can make anything. But you can't make anything if you don't have enough blocks. If you don't have the right blocks, then you can't make it. That's like language and vocabulary. If you don't have the right vocabulary, then you can't really... If you don't have the right Legos, you can't build that building. If you don't have the right words, you can't have that conversation. Okay? So vocabulary is like, those are like Lego blocks. And you need a lot of Lego blocks to build things. Okay? You need a lot of Lego blocks to build things. But we can't take our time because we keep memorizing everything just for examinations. Yes, I know, but that's why that education has nothing to do with school. Public school is the government doing the best they can to help you grow and learn, right? That's what public school is when the government is trying to do the best they can to help you to grow and learn. But guess what? Education is not really their responsibility. Education is your responsibility. So if you went to school but you did not get educated, that's not the government's fault. That's your fault. You do need to figure out how to educate yourself. I went to public school. There were many things that I did not learn in public school. Things that I should have learned, but I did not learn. So when did I learn them? After school was finished, then I started really learning by myself. Okay? So, yeah. Vocabulary are Lego blocks. That's why you need them. Okay? Okay, yes. One moment. Fusty has two meanings. Fusty could mean old and like moldy. Sometimes we say fusty, and sometimes we say musty. Both of them mean like a smell, like a basement smell. Like a smell that, like, there's moisture in the room. It's fusty or musty, okay? Fusty has a second meaning, and I think that's the one that you're looking for. The second meaning of fusty is just old-fashioned. You know, out of style. It's fusty. The fusty old man means like he's out of fashion, out of style. He's not with it. Okay? Okay, please be patient. Okay, the difference between limited and restricted. Calculating. One moment. Limited has... so they both have a similar meaning. Things that are limited and restricted are things that you are... there's some limit to how much you can do, right? There's some amount that's a total amount that you're allowed to do, or there's some rules that you are allowed to do and things that you're not allowed to do, okay? But limited could mean something else, like, for example, limited edition. Limited edition means we only made this many. We only made 1,000 shirts. We only made 1,000 hats. That's a limited edition. It's limited to that number. Okay? Restricted would be more like, this area is restricted. You are not allowed to be here. Okay, there's a rule that says you can't be here. Okay, so in that way, when you are restricted, you are limited. Okay, so they are related, but they're definitely different. And then I want to look at one more thing. Restricted implies imposed boundaries, like in an external force, right? Like rules, right? This is a restricted area. That means like there's some rules that tell you you can't be here, okay? You're restricted from communicating with this person. There's a rule or a law saying you're not allowed to, okay? Limited is more that there's some sort of a total amount that is the only amount, right? A limited capacity, a lack of capacity, right? So restricted is about thinking about areas, like restricted area, okay? Whereas limited is more like budget. We have a limited budget, okay? If I have a limited budget, means I don't have all the money in the world. I only have this much money. If I have a restricted budget, that's different than a limited budget. A limited budget means I only have $100. That's how much I have. I'm limited by that much. Restricted would be, if I had a restricted amount of $100, that means somebody told me, you are only allowed to spend $100. Don't spend 101. Okay, so limited means I only have this much. Restricted means you're only allowed to spend this much. Okay, in that case. Okay, and then what's the next word? Does the word complexity affect our English level? Yes. Yes, but here's the other side of the coin. I do teach advanced vocabulary. However, I also want you to teach. I want to teach you another lesson from music. Okay, in music we have two kinds of music. We have simple music and we have complicated musics, right? There's a spectrum, right? So some musics are very simple but beautiful, and people love to listen to them, like rock music. Most rock and pop music are very simple, very, very simple, not complicated at all. Okay? That's why people like it, because it's simple. It's easy to understand. I can understand that. I can feel it. Right? But then we have another kind of music, jazz music. Okay? Avant-garde music, fusion music. These kinds of music are much more complicated, much more complex. Not everybody understands that kind of music. Not everybody understands that kind of music. So, what is my point? My point is that sometimes it's better to play simple music really, really well instead of playing complicated music very poorly. So let me make that clear to you in language. It's better for you to learn how to use simple words really, really well than it is to learn complicated words that you don't know how to use well. Do you understand? So simple language that you can use well is powerful. Advanced language that you can't use well is weak. Okay? So sometimes simplicity wins the day. Sometimes simplicity wins the day. Now, what's better is if you can do both. So I am able to play simple music that people can understand, but I can also play complicated music. That means I'm able to speak to more people. Understand? Okay, so when you can speak with rock music, with simple language, that's great. But if you learn about other ways of speaking, there are many ways, then you can increase the amount of people who will listen to you and understand you. Okay? Oh, geez, so many questions. Can you say you're a fusty person? Yes, you can. But that would mean like you're old-fashioned. Like not a positive thing, usually. Yeah, musty, moldy. That's the word we use when you go into a basement and you have that smell, oh, like it doesn't smell dry in here. It smells wet. Like a cave. Caves are like that, you know? Okay? They have water, moisture. Okay? Good night at noon after seeing someone off is correct? No. I would never say good night to somebody at 12 o'clock. No. No. Good day. Good day can mean hello or goodbye. Okay. Can I teach ear training? Ear training can mean a few different things. Do you mean listening? I can teach ear training, but what do you mean? Because ear training has more than one meaning. For example, it means something very different in music. So it's not necessary to use complex syntax or wording to sound advanced, depending on the context. Such when we are at C2, it's all about delivery. Mostly, yeah. You know, just remember that sometimes the simplest words say the deepest things. Right? Just do it. That's simple but deep. To be or not to be. That's simple but deep. Right? What is the difference between start off and what? Start off and what's the other? Oh, are you just commenting? Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah, get started and kick off. Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Those are all just simple words, but they mean something deep. That's what's beautiful about language. Language can have simple words that have deep meaning. If you know how to use them well. If you know how to use them well. All right. So listen, everybody. And hello, Hamadi, over there in my YouTube channel. All right. I've been here for about an hour and a half, guys. An hour and 38 minutes. It's probably about time for me to go. I need to finish a few more articles. But again, I'm telling you, the articles I've written in the last week are really good. I mean, you should read them. They are foundational articles that will help you understand how to learn better. Okay? So please try to read them. Sleep earlier. Kevin? Well, right now it's 11:27 in the afternoon here, Kevin. Remember, it's nighttime in China. It's daytime here. Right? But you're right. I do go to bed late. I was up till probably about 2:30 in the morning last night writing. Yeah. Can I share with you? Can I share my blog, you mean? Yeah. Hold on. Let me pull it back up. Where did it go? There it is. Here is my blog. Go to my blog there. Go to my link tree here. Go to my YouTube here. Go to my website here. Or no, sorry. Other way around. Yeah, there you go. That's my links right there. Okay? You can find everything right there. Okay, I have to go, but have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, wherever you live in the world. And I will see you guys tomorrow. But please, again, go read my blog. Go read my blog. Go read my blog. That was God telling you to go read my blog. Okay, I have to go. See you guys next time. Bye.